Hi, everyone. So thank you so much for taking time to join our interview today. And before I begin, congratulations, on winning your first round at your very first debate tournament, which is the Harvard UKTOC ISDI debate tournament that happened on January 24th to 25th. And so today we kind of want to hear about your experience competing in the tournament, as well as Tamana, since you have been nominated as also an ISDI ambassador. We also want to kind of hear your experience with that. So before we begin, maybe would you guys like to introduce yourself? Maybe Tama, you can go first, and then Humaira, you can go next.
Okay, so greetings. My name is Tamana and Wahadi. I'm 17 years old from Afghanistan, and me and my teammate Humaira, we competed in the last Harvard debate tournament, winning the first round, which was a very proud moment for us all. I also been chosen, the global ISDI ambassador, which is also a role that I'm carrying currently. Yeah, and that's all about me.
Yeah, thank you so much. And then Humaira.
Yeah, hello everyone. I'm Humaira and I'm 16 years old from Afghanistan. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to be here today, and I'm excited to be sharing more about myself and my experience debating at the Harvard Debate Tournament today with you.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I think we can start with our first question. So this one would be for Humaira. And what does this winning the first round mean to you as an Afghan female debater? And this is also your first debate tournament.
Well, it means a lot, especially at such a critical time like this when many girls in Afghanistan are struggling to access education, to be visible, and to raise their voices. So, having the opportunity to debate on such a prestigious platform, it wasn't just an academic experience, it was an honor and a responsibility. It was a chance for our team to represent our country and to show that Afghan girls are just as capable, even if we don't always have the same opportunities. So, this victory is not just personal, it is symbolic. It represents and symbolizes resilience and the potential and the power of education despite limitations.
Yeah, thank you so much. I think that was very well said. And then, besides that, I'm sure that, as an Afghan debater, you must have faced a lot of challenges while you were like preparing for the tournament, as well as during the tournament as well. So maybe Tamina, can you maybe talk a bit about the challenges that you face as an Afghan female debater, and how have you been able to overcome them?
Yes, so we faced a lot of challenges throughout the 2 months that we were training together. If you look through our chats, we were connected with each other like all the time, and we were talking about how skillful all our opponents were. Especially because we switched to open, which is the higher stage, in 2 days. So it was very challenging. Every opponent we faced had about like tens of competitions they competed before, which was a very challenging thing to us. Also, the time zones was a very big issue for us. We had to wake up like 3 a.m. in the morning and practice, and so those were all the challenges we faced. And instead of giving up, I believe that we encouraged each other, and we competed head to head with all of the challenges. We overcome them, and at the end we were able to see a very good result.
Yeah, for sure. I remember, during the training, we faced problems with, also the internet, and definitely like being moved to like the open division very last minute must have been like a really, I guess, intimidating and scary experience. But it's really great that you guys were able to get such results, even within such a short notice. And so the next question would be for Humaira. I was wondering, how has participating in this tournament affected your confidence and sense of capability?
It has definitely strengthened my confidence and my sense of capability because before going into this debate tournament, I wasn't sure what to expect because it was my first time. I was questioning whether I was fully prepared or even if I was eligible to be participating in this tournament. So winning our first round, it made me realize that it's not just about the hard work and the talent that sometimes it's also about access and opportunity, because there are so many, eligible and well-deserved and talented Afghan girls who can compete at this level, but they're not given the chance. They don't have the access and the opportunity. So, it definitely made me believe that with strong and continuous training, Afghan girls can absolutely compete in such tournaments and even win them.
Yeah, thank you so much for your sharing. And it's great to hear how, meaningful this experience has been to you, and hopefully that in the future, more Afghan girls will be able to have access to such opportunities as well. And I would like to follow up with that question by maybe what is like a message you would like to give to other Afghan young women who are hesitant to pursue like competitive activities such as, debate tournaments?
Well, my message would be very simple. Just show up and try. I know that it's not as easy as it sounds, because I too definitely felt very overwhelmed. I was even considering quitting just a few days before the tournament because we got switched to the open level. So it was very overwhelming. I was under such immense pressure. But now that I'm looking back, I'm so incredibly proud of our team, not just for winning, but for just showing up and having the courage to try. That itself is a very great victory for us. And I would like to say that it's always in these moments of pressure, doubt, and discomfort that growth happens. It's not always going to be easy, especially given today's context in Afghanistan and the slightest bit of opportunities that are given to girls. So it requires a lot of effort and resilience. But at the end of the day, stepping out of your comfort zone is always going to be worth it. So yeah, that will be my message.
Yeah, I definitely think it's really inspiring to hear how you were able to, persevere through and compete even though you were under such immense pressure, competing against such experienced debaters in the varsity division. But yeah, I think it's definitely something to be proud of, just showing up. And I just have one last question. So during the tournament, it's an international tournament, so there were a lot of teams from other countries. And so I was wondering, what did you learn by competing with teams from other countries? And maybe you can share a bit about your experience in one of the rounds you competed in.
Yeah, it was definitely an eye-opening experience. One thing I would like to talk about is after I debated in this tournament, I realized how versatile debating can be. Even within the same public forum format, there's a wide range of, debating styles, argument structures, and strategies and approaches. So there isn't one correct way of debating. Adaptability and critical thinking are as important as preparation. Another thing would be, I learned that engaging with different teams from different countries definitely exposes you to perspectives that are shaped by different social, cultural, and political contexts, and it pushes you to think more globally, to explore ideas that you were not introduced to before, and to consider arguments that are beyond your immediate environment. And last but not least, as a first-time debater, it was very amazing for me to see the level of respect maintained by teams in such a competitive space, because after all, it's an intense debate round and there are going to be strong disagreements, but there is this sense of respect and understanding, and that was really amazing to me.
Yeah, it's wonderful to hear that you have such, a great experience, especially in your first debate, and hopefully that might have encouraged you to join more in the future. And so we're kind of gonna shift gears a bit to ask Tamana more about her experience as the ISDI ambassador. So my first question is, could you share the main key takeaways from your experience joining the Global Debate Monthly meeting that you participate in, which took place on January 31st?
So the meeting that took place in January 31st was a very insightful meeting. I think we started off with a brief introduction, and I heard voices from across borders and voices globally, and I realized how debate can be, such a global thing and connect communities together. We also talked about different types of, debate formats, which I never known about, including a general one, which was World School Debate format. And I think think it overall it was a very insightful meeting, which I believe that as a student ambassador within ISDI, I think I learned a lot, and I also got to connect with many peers across globally.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing what you learned from that meeting. And to follow up on that, what opportunities do you see within ISDI Global Network for Afghan female students similar to you?
I think I see a lot of opportunities, like mentorship programs and global exposure and many more, because for Afghan debaters especially, there is not a lot of resources and trainings. So I think there could be a lot of mentorship programs and global exposure in ISDI for them.
Yeah, that's really great to hear that ISDI has made a lot of effort to support, Afghan girls and also youth from other underrepresented regions to have access to more debate and speech opportunities. And so, kind of following up on that previous question, how do you think they can better support student debaters from, underrepresented regions such as Afghanistan as well as around the world?
Yeah, well, I think for girls like me in countries like Afghanistan, they have a lot of potential in them, and I believe that if we actually invest on those potential, we would be able to compete in more competitions in future. So I think providing clubs and resources and actually trainings could be really insightful for girls like us. But by just these 2 months that we've been trained to compete in this competition, I think we've learned a lot of things that we actually didn't have resources for, or we didn't actually know. For example, public forum debate styles. But there are a lot of debate styles that we can go through, and I believe that girls who actually have potential for debating could actually use those resources to further improve their debate skills and actually compete in future debate tournaments.
Yeah. And hopefully, as your role as a student ambassador, maybe you can try to advocate for some of these opportunities in those meetings, and hopefully they will come true and more students like you around the world will be able to, join debate competitions and have access to training. Um, and so that's all that I have for my questions. Unless you guys have anything else you want to share, then that will be the end of our interview. But thank you so much for your time. And yeah, thank you so much for your time, for making it to today's interview and your insights. And once again, congratulations on your win.
Thank you so much.